Hello, welcome back to the Po2 Podcast. I'm Jay.
And I'm Amber.
And today we're going to do something different and talk about a little bit of Twitter drama between the fans and the reboot showrunners. So, Amber, you want to fill us in?
No, I want you to fill me in because there might be some stuff that I've missed.
That sounded dirty when you said that.
No, well, you can tell me because I want to hear it
Okay,
from you.
oh, essentially, what the problem is that fans have been really critical of the reboot because a lot of people have been wanting the reboot to have some sort of connection to the original. The reboot from the get-go was always going to be about the Vera sisters or the Vera family and the Charmed ones and all that. It's supposed to be a separate story, and that's what they set out to do. But the problem is, from the very start, there have always been Easter eggs and allusions and references to the original show. And some of it seems very intentional. So, of course, fans of the original are going to be waiting and hoping for some sort of crossover. Now, whatever the crossover may be, it varies from person to person. Some people have very high expectations and expect, actors from the original to show up on the reboot, which it's never going to happen.
No,
It's never going to happen. We have had some actors, like very, very small part actors from the original, appear in the reboot as different characters, but those are just actors trying to get work. That's not legacy characters from the OG making an appearance in the reboot. Like, that's not what this is. So we'll never have Alyssa Milano or Holly Marie Combs, Rose McGowan, Shannon Doherty. We're never going to have those four on the show. So a lot of people have ridiculously high expectations, but then there's other people like me and Amber who just want some sort of dialogue reference.
which we kind of got this week, even though Phoebe wasn't directly mentioned. They did kind of allude to, a witch with a charmed one with the power of premonition from Diana's world. They didn't actually directly name Phoebe though.
So what ended up happening is Joey said, he actually ended up commenting. He said who there's a person who claims to have not watched the original, but they only watched the reboot. And they were asking Joey if they can still follow the reboot without having seen the original, like if there's a bunch of Easter eggs or references that they're not going to get. And Joey said, okay, just to be clear, it's fans on Twitter who have tried to turn this into an OG Easter egg hunt, not us. Our top priority is concluding season 4 story and Mel, Maggie, and Kayla's emotional arcs. Any OG references are just icing on the cake. And another fan tweeted his actual quote that he did on an interview where I think it's on K-Site TV. They interviewed him and Jeffrey. They said to him, we're coming up on the 25th anniversary of the original Charmed. If the show gets a 5th season, can we look forward to any sort of tribute to that anniversary? And Joey said, I think people should stay tuned to what happens this season and hope for the best. And Jeffrey said, we are committed to putting the universes together, whether it be this season or next. And Joey said, I think people who enjoy the original show will not be disappointed by the end of this season. So basically, he's confirming or heavily implying that there will be some sort of reference or crossover that puts the two universes together.
Mm,
So he's the one that said that. So for
yeah.
fans to make the conclusion that there's going to be some Easter egg or reference, they're not wrong to assume that because that's exactly what he's teasing. So in response to that quote, which I admit is kind of funny when someone is caught contradicting themselves, so he responds to that and he says, ha, fine. But there's a difference between not disappointing fans of the original and turning the reboot into the Shannon Doherty show or whatever some people think might happen. No original cast members are returning. So what he did there is, I get what he's trying to say, but he is using an extreme example of a very small but vocal group of the fan base. Not everyone is expecting Shannon Doherty or whoever to come back. Like we know, I think most people know that it's not happening. I think what most people have been tweeting about is more so about the lore, the whole connection to Melinda Warren, whether or not the Hallowells exist in this universe. I think that's what most people have been tweeting about. Not so much, oh, when is Shannon Doherty going to be on? Yes, there are some, but it's not like those people are living in a fantasy world. Like, no offense to them, but you have to be some kind of delusional to actually believe that Shannon Doherty or Alyssa Milano or whoever would actually be on the reboot as their characters.
So there was actually a plan to get Shannon Doherty on the show.
Mhm.
Um, in season one, they wanted to get Shannon on the show. She had been supportive of the reboot, and out of all of the actresses, she was the only one that was being supportive of it at the time. And so one of the writers said on a podcast that he was doing, he's since left the show. I think he was only on it for season one. I can't remember which one it was, but he said that they wanted to get Shannon on, but Mark Pedowitz didn't want her to go on there, or there was some kind of dispute, and they decided not to have her on. Maybe it was over money, I don't know. But they just decided not to have her on. But since then, they haven't really brought that up. But so that girl that actually made that question to Joey, or made that comment about the OG show, because she hasn't watched it. That girl, Amelia, is actually, I guess you could say she's kind of friends with Sarah Jeffrey. She knows Sarah Jeffrey. They actually did a Zoom call or an Instagram live type thing, and I guess it was her, Sarah, and Lucy. They did like an Instagram live, so
Oh,
yeah. And Brian Krause, he said that he was actually approached to be on the reboot. He was going to play some kind of like villain, and he didn't do it or take it on or whatever. I think they just wanted him to play some like random demon or something.
didn't
Which,
he say that at a convention panel and Holly like gave him a dirty look or something?
yeah, yeah, she did. And I remember when I was at the convention in Birmingham, before the reboot actually premiered, it was on 2018. She like gave him a bit of shade. She's like, "Oh, you're probably gonna pop up on the reboot. You're probably gonna be like a professor or something." And she goes, if you do that, I'm never talking to you again," or something like that. I think she was joking, like, but like she was just giving him.
No, she probably wasn't. I really do think that Holly does not like the reboot at all. And I'll tell you why. When the show got canceled a couple weeks back, there were some people that were, tweeting. There actually was a fan, or more like a stan of the original, who tagged Holly and said, let's celebrate now that the reboot's been canceled and let's try to get you guys back or whatever. It was something like that. Holly never responded, but she did see it because people who commented so people who defended the reboot or expressed anything positive about the reboot in that thread were blocked by Holly. And she has been known to block people who are vocally for the reboot.
But
She even blocked me once. She blocked me and a friend once. All we did was tweet that, I think when the show started, there was this huge campaign to stop the show. And me and a bunch of other friends were, just tweeting our support for the reboot, and we were excited about it. And she blocked us.
oh my god. Well, I don't know Holly, but I've met Holly, and I haven't got anything bad to say about her really. I think she's all right, but yeah, I don't know why she's blocked people. I don't quite understand that. But yeah, and also like the Joey thing, he also mentioned Melinda Warren.
I will say this. I made this point to you before when we weren't recording, but I'll bring it up now while you're looking for that tweet. Um, People have been wanting some sort of confirmation or reference to Melinda Warren and the Hallowells because right from the start in the pilot, the very first page from the Book of Shadows that we see is in fact of Melinda Warren. And if you look close enough, the text does mention that she is the one who, um, that she's the progenitor of the Charmed Ones.
So I found the tweet. He said, all I'm saying is there are people on this app, not you, who have spent 4 years focusing on Melinda Warren more than Maggie and Mel. And I want you to assure you, our focus will always be on reboot fans and reboot characters. Well, my response to that is, why did they even bother putting that in the Book of Shadows in the first place? And also, why did the writers during season one tease the fact that there was going to be some kind of Melinda Warren episode?
Yeah, I brought that up before that during season one, there was a bunch of plot points that they teased in panels or on Twitter that never came about. Um, Three things that come to mind is that they had teased that there would be some sort of Fitbit demon, which the writers have since joked about um, on Twitter because it never happened. I guess they dropped the idea that there was supposed to be some like demonic like there's supposed to be some demon that possessed a Fitbit or something. And then they were supposed to introduce a reference or show Melinda Warren in the halfway point of season one. And then the third thing is that they said that we would meet Mel and Maggie's father also around the halfway point. And instead, the Jingle Hell episode, it shows that he stood them up and, Maggie was devastated about it. So somewhere along the lines, they had these ideas and they dropped them for whatever reason. And unfortunately, people caught wind of the Melinda Warren thing. And people like me, when they said that on Twitter that it was coming, don't worry. And then it never happened. That was so disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Then with
Uh,
season that, sorry to interrupt you, but then with season two, when they also showed these other triplets or these other trios of charmed ones in the past, people were hoping that one of them would be the Hallowells.
and they weren't.
And they weren't.
I don't know. I just feel like the reboot has done some things that I really don't agree with. I think from the get-go they should have like acknowledged the Halliwells in some point, not pretended that they're their own thing, or just brought it up slightly. I mean, that would have solved so many issues. And the Melinda Warren thing, I don't understand that. I don't understand them teasing and then going back on it, getting the fans' hopes up. And also I feel like when they said that, Melinda's going to be mentioned this season, which is what everybody wants. Well, not everybody, but a lot of us OGers, we wanted that. Um, there was like, oh yeah, it's going to happen next season, but we're not going to get a next season. So I
Yeah, it's
don't know.
disappointing for sure. I just don't think that I just think that they had an opportunity with this last season, considering that other shows have confirmed that the CW told them that they will most likely get axed this year. Um, so far, a lot of other writers have confirmed this, like Caroline Dries, or not Caroline, Julie Plec with Legacies and Roswell. She tweeted that they all knew. And even the writers in the official Charmed account, they said that they knew this could happen. So if they did not if they left things that, huge things that were left unexplained or open that, did not give us real satisfaction, I'm going to be very disappointed in them. But Jeffrey and Joey, they keep saying to just stick with it, and they'll happily discuss all these other things once the show is over. They don't want to spoil anything. So I guess the best thing we can do is just enjoy these last 3 episodes and hope that it gives us a satisfying ending. Well, I guess that's it for now. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, so we're gonna close out here. Thanks for listening. If you have any thoughts or comments, if you disagree, agree, let us know in the comments. You can follow us on Twitter at Po2 underscore podcast and Facebook under Charmed News.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys soon. And our new video, which is a review of Hashing It Out, is now up or will be up very soon. Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.